We received a question from a member of our community who had some questions on how much time he would serve in prison. He received a 4-month sentence. Now, with a 4-month sentence, a person does not receive the credit known as statutory good time. Statutory good time requires a person to have a sentence of longer than 1 year. That's the significance when a judge sentences a person to a year and a day. He's giving the extra day to a year because that would be more than a year, and it requires a sentence of having more than a year to qualify for statutory good time, which is 15% of the sentence imposed. Now, just because the person doesn't qualify for statutory good time with a 4-month sentence, that doesn't mean he doesn't necessarily qualify for time credits under the First Step Act. And this is the First Step Act there that I'm showing on my screen. It's available right on the Bureau of Prisons website. It's available on our website at Prison Professors. But if you scroll down far enough to the areas that I've highlighted in yellow, you can kind of see some of the areas that are relevant, such as when the president signed the bill, it required the Bureau of Prisons to create a risk and needs assessment. And people who qualify under that risk and needs assessment or are not disqualified because they have a crime of violence, then they would earn 10 days of time credit for every 30 days of successful participation in evidence-based recidivism reduction programming or productive activities. That's what they get as long as they are not disqualified. Now, if they're there for enough time to get 2 team meetings, in which case they could be assessed twice, then they get an additional 5 days. And the salient point about all of this is it applies towards pre-release custody, which means it gets them out of prison. But in addition to that, these time credits are over and above any other credits. So for a guy with a 4-month sentence, there's not going to be any other credits. There's just going to be the First Step Act. However, in month 1, he should earn 10 days. In month 2, he should earn another 10 days. And in month 3, he'll earn the other 10 days, which means he's done with his sentence with the Bureau of Prisons. So he should finish the 4-month sentence within 3 months. That's what time he should go home. Can the Bureau of Prisons send him to a residential reentry center? Absolutely. He actually qualifies for placement in a residential reentry center immediately because his sentence is less than 12 months. And that's the significance of the Second Chance Act. It authorizes the Bureau of Prisons to send somebody to a residential reentry center for up to the last 12 months of their sentence. Okay? For home confinement, it's got to be only the last 10% of their sentence. So you'd have to have more than 5 years to go to home confinement for longer than 6 months. It's a little bit complicated. But for this individual who only has a 4-month sentence, I think the realistic thing is to expect the worst, which should be he'll serve about 3 months inside of prison. The best would be they'll give him a couple of weeks halfway house or a month of a halfway house, in which case he would be in a halfway house. Given that he is from the Caribbean, where there is probably very limited space, I think it's unlikely, but they do have the discretion to do it. So those are my comments on that question about halfway houses and First Step Act credits. I think that we should celebrate the fact that he got a 4-month sentence. The key for this individual is going to be focused on making sure he has the highest level of liberty when he gets home. Prison's going to be a breeze because he's only going to be there for 90 days, just enough time to get in great physical shape and for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies to reach new highs.